Good evening. I am Susan Rizzo, your Albany County Comptroller. I'm here once again to present the Albany County State of the Fisc. To all legislators, your continued dedication on behalf of the over 318,000 residents living in the 3 cities, 9 towns, and 6 villages of Albany County is noted and appreciated. Through your continued support of my office, we are able to deliver fiscal accountability, fiscal transparency, and fiscal responsibility in county government. This presentation provides a fiscal picture of Albany County for the year ending December 31st, 2024. I will begin by sharing an overview of 2024 and the solid financial foundation that puts the county in a strong position going forward. Let's start with the 2024 financial results. On May 1st, the New York State Annual Financial Report, AFR, was submitted on time for my 6th consecutive year. This is an unaudited document that provides required financial information about Albany County, including expenses and revenues by fund. For the general fund only, I am proud to report that for 2024, general fund revenues exceeded expenses by $24.7 million, or 3.26% of the adopted budget. One of the most common measures of the fiscal health of a municipality is its fund balance. Albany County has performed particularly well in this regard since the COVID-19 pandemic and associated economic disruption. Over the last 4 years, unassigned fund balance grew from $34.5 million in 2020 to $141 million as of December 31st, 2024, over a 4 times increase, an accomplishment that the county legislature should be proud of. This legislature and the county executive have made significant achievements during this same time, including making continued investments in infrastructure, expanding services, and providing significant cost of living adjustments for our workforce, all while holding the line on property taxes. This is not a coincidence. Sound fiscal management allows our county to achieve great outcomes for the residents of this county and our dedicated workforce. The assigned fund balance consists of encumbered and other dedicated funds for specific programs and purposes. This also grew in 2024. As of December 31st, 2023, this measure stood at $39.8 million and increased by $16.8 million in 2024 to $56.6 million. This is a positive development as Albany County is funding key priorities. For example, and notably, we set aside $10 million in 2024 for the central warehouse demolition. Why did the unassigned fund balance increase by $17.9 million in 2024? Personnel expenses, interest income, sales tax, hotel occupancy tax, and tax receipts from the sale of adult use cannabis all directly impacted fund balance in 2024. Personnel expenses were $13.3 million less than budget. However, we had year-over-year growth in both budgeted and actual expenses. This continued investment by Albany County in its workforce helped us maintain our competitive position versus other employers, particularly when Albany County's benefit structure is considered by prospective employees. Still, the county had 455 vacancies as of December 31st, 2024, an improvement from 543 vacancies a year earlier. Further progress is expected in 2025. As the Department of Human Resources hosted a large job fair at the MVP Arena earlier this year, and individual departments are continuing to prioritize filling vacancies. In regards to interest income, my office continues to work closely with the Commissioner of Management and Budget who serves as Albany County's Chief Investment Officer. Last year, interest income exceeded budget by $6.8 million. This was due in large part to the county's strong cash flow management. Currently, the county is earning 4.3% on its investment funds as compared to 5.3% that we earned through much of 2024. In 2025, interest income earned will decline as rates are less than they were 1 year ago, and disbursements of ARPA awards continue. Interest income earned is expected to decrease year over year. In 2024, sales tax collected totaled over $372 million, exceeding budget by $7 million. While it is too early to forecast 2025 with certainty, there are indications that the growth in sales tax receipts we have experienced over recent years may not continue. Albany County sales tax receipts are flat year to date, whereas other counties in New York State are seeing declines. Inflation is projected to slow. Gas prices are down year over year, and the impact of federal policy changes, particularly related to the implementation of tariffs, are not known at this time. My office will continue to monitor sales tax collections. Hotel occupancy tax receipts increased and exceeded budget in 2024. This had the effect of adding $2.7 million to the county's fund balance. As you are aware, recently enacted state legislation expands the application of the hotel occupancy tax to short-term rental units. Approximately $600,000 in new revenue is anticipated from qualifying rentals in 2026, which will be the first full year of implementation. Additional audit positions in my office will be necessary for the county to collect this revenue. The current hotel occupancy tax is 6.5%, which breaks down as follows: 3% to the Albany Capital Center, 2% to the Civic Center Debt Service Fund, 1% to the Albany County Convention and Visitors Bureau, 0.5% to the Advanced Albany County Alliance. Tax receipts from the sale of adult-use cannabis totaled $1.15 million in 2024, which exceeded budget by over $950,000. This program began in Albany County in 2023. In 2024, 6 retail stores were paying taxes in Albany County, 2 of which were in the city of Albany, 1 in the town of Colony, 1 in the town of Guilderland, 1 in the village of Colony, and 1 in the village of Menands. Additional dispensaries are operating in 2025. Therefore, 2025 receipts project to exceed budget. Albany County has a solid financial foundation. As comptroller, I am committed to working with this legislature and the county exec to continue strengthening our finances. I would like to highlight Albany County's long-term debt. As you can see, the county's total debt has declined significantly since 2020. Over the last 5 years, Albany County has retired over $112 million in debt. Let me say it again. We retired over $112 million in debt. Since 2022, Albany County has not borrowed, and instead we have funded certain capital projects from the County General Fund. The county's long-term debt was reduced by over $72 million since this policy was implemented. Also, by not borrowing $14 million in 2023, savings of $4.3 million over 15 years, or $280,000 per year, has materialized. Historically, in New York State, county-owned county nursing facilities have presented real fiscal challenges to their counties. We are having a much different experience here in Albany County over the past several years. All funding sources considered, Shaker Place is now running nearly as a break-even operation. Following the renovation of the facility and then the COVID-19 pandemic, demand for placements in Shaker Place have grown to this day. Look no further than private pay revenue, which in 2020 was $1.4 million. In 2024, this same metric stood at $6.7 million. That's 379% growth over 4 years. When it becomes necessary for Albany County to borrow again, the items I have already presented to you tonight, including large fund balances, diversified and durable revenue sources, dramatically reduced long-term debt, and having a nursing facility that can operate without county subsidy, will put us in a strong position to achieve an upgraded credit rating. Currently, Albany County is rated AA with a stable outlook. Albany County now has a real case to receive a rating of AA+ and eventually the highest credit rating of AAA. In addition to achieving an upgraded credit rating and implementing an audit program for tax payments made by short-term rentals, my office is also moving forward with 2 modernization initiatives. First, Albany County's vendor payments were made exclusively by paper check prior to the 4th quarter of 2024. At that time, we began converting vendors to payment by electronic funds transfer, or EFT. There are 1,200 vendors already converted to payments by EFT. The benefits of this program include reduced risk of fraud, reduced expenses associated with the production of checks, more efficient use of employees, improved accounting and bank reconciliations. The second of the modernization initiative is implementation of paperless claim submissions. Historically, Albany County has had largely paper-based business processes. Significant benefits exist related to the implementation of electronic submissions of claims. In 2024, my office processed 51,000 paper claims. So this transition will create tremendous and recurring efficiencies for Albany County. Let me share a handful of additional notable items with you. Audits completed by my office in 2024 included the coroner's office, audits of accounts receivable, 36 hotel occupancy tax audits, 16 petty cash audits, and inmate commissary cash. We again received a clean audit from our independent auditors. Also, we achieved a 98% reduction to an IRS penalty from initially over a $291,000 penalty to less than $4,400. The American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 provided $59.3 million to Albany County. Half, or $29.7 million of this amount, was used as revenue recovery by Albany County. As of December 31st, 2024, Albany County had made payments to community-based sub-awardees and other contractors, totaling only $5.9 million. The remaining $23.7 million is subject to federal requirements, including that it must be spent by December 31st, 2026. I now would like to update you regarding public administration property tax recovered. Since 2022, I have managed 36 estates and the sale of 25 properties, resulting in the payment of over $400,000 in delinquent taxes and other settlements. These properties are now in productive use and paying taxes to the benefit of Albany County, its municipalities, and school districts. More important, however, is the recovery and repair which revitalizes our neighborhoods. In regards to federal funding risks, there has been much discussion of federal budget cuts over the past several months. However, actual cuts are not immediately known. Preserving tax cuts and increased defense spending appear to be priorities of the current administration. So, human resources and healthcare spending may be particularly vulnerable categories of spending. To that point, Albany County has over 88,000 residents, or more than 27%, with health care coverage through Medicaid or the Affordable Care Act. Accordingly, any cuts to Medicaid would have a significant impact to Albany County. My office will continue to monitor developments. Conclusion. Another successful year by Albany County when looking at our large fund balance, robust revenues, controlled costs, and reduced long-term debt. It is clear that Albany County has sound financial management. But it is important to continue working in partnership. Thoughtful policy crafted by the county legislature, effective management by our county executive, and fiscal oversight conducted by my office will continue to lead to desired results for Albany County in 2025 and going forward.